Hello everybody, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda the Wind Waker. As promised, I said I would meet you in this square here for the next video. I'm going to get the map fish, and then we are going to find out exactly what this island is and why we need to be here. It is a mandatory island, and you do have to come here. So just keep that in mind. It's pretty much like off the path. You might not think to come here immediately. Fire Mountain was kind of a given because you pretty much had to go there when sailing from Dragon Roost to the Forest Haven, but this one's a little bit more out of the way. There's this amazing treasure inside that freezing ring of ice over there, but even if you wanted it and tried to get inside, you'd just be frozen solid as soon as you approach the shore. But if you go 4 squares north and 3 squares west, you'll find the power to melt any ice no matter how cold. And we already got that, and that's why we're here. We're here because we need to get into the next temple, and we can't do so unless we come to this island. So that's why I've come here. So I'm just going to sail up to it. Not too close, because if you get too close you will freeze. Let's say here should be good. And take out our fire arrows. God, I can't even see from here. What you need to do is you need to fire right into that dragon over there, and it will cool down, or I guess I should say it will heat up the entire island. And again, it will be timed, so feel free to just go on ahead and make your way around. There's a treasure chest around here somewhere, and it's right here. So let's grab this before going in. 5 minutes is incredibly generous. You shouldn't have any problems. It's a very, very round island though, so you might get lost trying to find a way to climb up. So that can be a little bit annoying, but let's see. I think it's over here. It's very slippery being that it is ice, so you're going to have to be careful when climbing, because Link will slide around. And I think we can climb up from here. So just make sure you are careful when sliding, or because you'll see that he'll slide, and if I can get him to slide around enough, he actually falls on his face. Again, more facial torture for Link, but you just have to be careful. And on the sliding part that I nearly fell off. Careful on that part too. You can get that rupee if you want to, but I'm not going to risk it. And on here you want to be really careful because it's really easy to slide off. So just take it really slow. Like I said, 5 minutes is very, very generous. And then we're going to have to do something that's similar to what we did in the ice cavern in Ocarina of Time. You got to go on these sliding pillars as they come around. And be careful not to fall off. And there we go. I find this island a lot easier than Fire Mountain for the sheer fact that once you get inside of here, there's really nothing to it. So it's getting inside that's the problem, but once you're inside, you're pretty much good to go. You can see treasures on that side, so let's very slowly and carefully make our way over to the other side. There we go. Now these... I thought these were ice keys, but they're just normal keys, so that's fine. Okay, now this can be a little bit tricky, but you just be careful. If those keys would leave me alone, slide Link right to the very edge, and you can grab the chest. Not really any enemies to defeat, you just ignore those keys, and just be careful when you're sliding. And the item that we get from this place are the iron boots. These boots are so heavy you can hardly walk, but the wind can't blow you around when you wear them. Get it? Wind temple, blow you around, heavy, yeah, correlation. Now, these are an equipable item in this game. You don't have to go to your menu and put them on and off every single time, thank God. So, you want to put those on to get out of here. What you're going to do. Before leaving, though, there's one more treasure that we can grab. So just go on ahead and fall down here. And we will be forced to defeat a bunch of enemies. which I guess is where the enemy part comes in, although this is optional and you don't have to. With this one, this is really nice because you have to defeat all the enemies, but since they're all frozen, you can take your time with this. And you can also take the enemies by surprise because they're frozen and they obviously are just getting unfrozen, don't really know what's going on. There's some dark nuts in here, there's a few moblins. I think there's also some bokoblins as well. So a few little things for you to take into account. If you do actually touch one of these ice cubes, I was going to say you're going to freeze, but I guess you won't. I thought if you touched it, Link would actually freeze solid, but never mind. You burn you. Just distract you. I'm too lazy to bring up my grappling hook and stun him that way. And again, I have all of the accessories that I need. I don't need any more joy pendants or skull necklaces or knight's crests, so I'm just gonna go ahead and defeat these guys. I don't really need to wait to steal their stuff. And really, these aren't gonna hit him. That's annoying. Speaking of which, we do need to bring our knight's crests back to Orca. I think I might actually do that really quickly before the next dungeon, because I don't actually know if the move we get is actually going to be useful for the next dungeon, and it might be. I was thinking about that. I think the last guys to take out are these bokoblins, who at this point in the game, I don't even know why they're still giving us bokoblins, because they're just way too easy for us to defeat, quite honestly. Joy pendant floating in the air on the right hand side there. It's funny. Anywho, if you want to do this, you can get an orange rupee, which is worth 100 rupees. I suggest doing that. It's a good idea. You don't always just find 100 rupees laying around, so very easy thing to get. You can also get some spoils from those enemies if you still need them. So that's available, and once you hop back up, you'll automatically be brought outside, which is good for us anyways, because we don't need anything else in there. And now, all we gotta do is go back to the King Red Lions. And I'm also fairly certain I grabbed all the chests. I think it's just that treasure chart. That rupee, which is green now? Yeah. Phooey. Or is it still yellow? I was gonna say, can we get like unlimited 10 rupees? That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, see, and then as you can see, if you slide around enough, Link will actually fall on his face, which actually makes me kind of sad. But yeah, I just went around the whole entire ring, and that's it. So, now that we have the iron boots, we'll be able to get into our next dungeon. But before we do that, I think I am going to make that quick pit stop to Outset and go see Orca, now that I think about it. It's very, very quick. And I think this move actually would have been quite useful in the last dungeon, but I didn't get around to doing it. I don't think it'll be that useful to us in this dungeon, but it doesn't hurt to go and grab it anyways while we're gonna be at the island. Alright. I hate how they warp you so far from Outset. If you warp to any other island, they warp you relatively close to where the start of the island is. I always found that kind of annoying, but good thing I didn't have to change my wind direction, because I am too lazy. We'll be coming back to this island later for more important stuff, and we've pretty much taken care of everything else that we need to take care of on the island, but small thing, we'll empty out our spoils bag. So let's just go see how Orca's doing. Ah, Link, you are alright. Why did you not tell me about Arrow? That was thoughtless of you. This island has seen hard times ever since you departed. I do not know what you have been doing on your journey, but you seem a little more daring these days. That look in your eyes, not the one you left here with. Very good. Show me just how much you've improved your sword skills. Not now. I will come back and do this later. What you can do is you can do like a little mini game with him, and it's extremely annoying, and I'm terrible at it, and like I said, I just don't want to do it right now. But we do have 12 Knight's Crests, and he asked for 10, so let's show these to him. Wha- Why, that is a knight's crest. How many of those do you have? Hmm. Then I suppose the time has come for me to speak to you about the crests. The knight's crest. It is the symbol of a courageous knight. But not just anyone can gather them. No, it takes a soul who possesses not only power, but wisdom and courage as well. Any courageous soul who gathers 10 of these crests can learn a powerful new sword technique. Both my brother and I dreamt of learning this technique in our youth. We worked so hard to collect the crests, but it took many long years and adventures beyond count before we even approached finding 10 of them, and we both grew old. It appears you have enough might to learn that technique now. Perhaps, just perhaps, you can master it. Very good, Link. Heed my words. How crappy would that make Orca feel? Like, he spent his whole life looking for 10 of these things, and we just bring them to him in no time flat. Anywho, this is something that uses our magic power, but all we have to do is just power a B, and we get this move, which Link's eyes are hilarious when he uses that move. It's so funny. This move is called the Hurricane Spin. If you build up power, then release it, you can perform a whirling attack with your blade. It consumes magic power, so it's not free. And if you want to make Orca cry, you can do this, and I guess he's very happy because you brought him the 10 Knights Crest that he's always wanted, so. Oh, the joyful tears, they won't stop! I thought my tears had dried up long ago. There is nothing left for me to teach you. I am certain now that you will save your sister Errol and bring her home to Outset. I'm kind of hoping he'll let us do that minigame now, afterwards if I speak to him. Do you wish to fight me again? Yeah, he will. Again, I'm not going to do it again, but he said that's all I have to teach you, so I was a little afraid that he wouldn't let us do it. Anywho, now that that's done, we can pretty much go forward with the storyline. I'm going to try not to break too much from storyline, because we just have to get this temple out of the way, and then we can get back to much more backtracking stuff. So, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to warp to Windfall, because Gale, the island we're going to, is very conveniently placed just 1 square north of Windfall, and it's very easy to get to. So let's go ahead and warp there to start out with. And then, I think my wind direction is completely off. It is. I'm just going to change the wind direction, sail there, and I'll meet you guys when I get there. Okay, so we're approaching our next island, and I just realized how long this video is getting now that I looked at the recording. So I actually changed my mind. We're just going to end this episode off with getting the map fish, and then in the next video I'll actually show you guys how to get into the island, and then we'll learn what we're going to have to do for this temple. So let's get this map fish. You certainly don't really realize how fast time goes by when you're recording a lot of the time, and it's just so easy to get carried away with what you're doing. Because I can't believe I've been sitting here for almost 20 minutes, you know. Are you thinking you want to get into that cave, small fry? The one that's protected by the crazy winds on that island? Okay then, let me just tell you a little secret. And he's just going to tell us to go to the Ice Ring Island where we just were, which is an indication if you came here earlier and you weren't able to get in, the mapfish probably would have gave you a hint to go and find what was on Ice Ring Island. But I'm ahead of the mapfish, so with that very useless bit of information, we are ready to pretty much go forward onto this island. So in the next video, we're going to get right back into storyline. We're gonna go on Gale Island here. Get a new song, and find what we have to do to get to our next temple. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope that I will see you all next time.